Hey, what's happening, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hope everybody had a good day. I did have a good day myself. I hope everybody else enjoyed the beautiful sunshine. Even it was even nice and warm today here in Atlanta. Cause I'm telling you, when I first got here to Tennessee, when I flew into Tennessee, it was a little chilly there. Came into Atlanta, a little bit chilly, but now it looks like the weather is doing better. Like I said, I hope everybody had a good day. So tonight, as soon as my boy um, Andre comes in from Love Crossing Borders, we're going to discuss: is it better to live in Dominican Republic or Colombia? And if we'd had this conversation pre-COVID, my answer might have been different than they are today. But with having more knowledge and what's happening in the world today, I think people might be surprised at my answer. What's going on, End Zone? What's up, Xavier? What's up, Kip? Yeah, so I think it should be an interesting conversation. So, in fact, let me send my boy Andre a message. All right, let him know that we've already started. Now, for me particularly, you all know that Dominican Republic was not my first choice. My first choice was Panama. I think Panama is still an awesome place to retire. The only thing about Panama, like I said, since they built that Panama Canal and they got all that commerce money, it has just exploded, and everything has gone very expensive. And Panama, specifically Panama City, which is a place that I really wanted to stay. I've been to Colombia a few times. Been to Colombia back in the 80s when I was in the military. Been to Colombia most recently. I think the last time I was in Colombia was maybe 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. Three, maybe 4 years ago. Went to Medellin. That was the last place I've been to, but I've been to Cali. I've been to Cartagena, and I've been to Medellin. And I love Colombia. You know, I honestly love Colombia. I think Colombia has a lot to offer as far as infrastructure compared to Dominican Republic. I think goods and services wise, it has more to offer. And for those who may be interested in Brazil, Brazil is a whole nother thing. Maybe I should have added Brazil in this mix, but tonight we're just gonna keep it at Dominican Republic and Colombia. But like I said, you know, Colombia has infrastructure by far much better than Dominican Republic. Their Wi-Fi definitely better than Dominican Republic. But Colombia, guys, right now it has its own shit going on. You know what I'm saying? You know that, and a lot of things that's going on in Colombia right now are very similar to Escobar days. You know, I'm serious. People just robbing you on the street. Everybody doing the stick-up kid. You know, we had that brother Timothy Reed who got killed a few weeks ago, which I'm gonna talk about that again. But that's not the only one as far as expats that have gotten killed, just like point blank in the daytime. So I think safety wise, and like I said, when as soon as Andre come on, he can confirm or dispute. I think safety wise, that depending on where you at, all right, because I always gotta say that because they got good and bad everywhere. But depending on where you at, I think DR has the safety issue a little bit better than Colombia at this point right now. So what's up, Kip? He's saying YouTube has been buffering live streams the last hour or so. Hey, so if I am buffering and not coming out clear, do me a favor, put a number 2. If you see me coming out clear right now, just put a number 1. That way I know exactly what's happening here. So if I'm coming out clear, just put a number 1. If I'm not coming out clear, for the amount of people that's in the group, put a number 2. That way I know exactly where we at as far as the feed going into this stream. Yeah, it's a YouTube thing right now. Well, like I said, it got to be a YouTube thing right now because I'm in the States. But even my boy, he's had some buffering issues here at his crib, watching Netflix. So, all right, with Mac, I got 1. So all right, so right now I'm pretty good. Yeah. So let's start the conversation. We're gonna start without my boy Andre. I guess he got a little busy doing something. But right now in Medellin and different parts of Colombia, Barranquilla, I think maybe Cartagena. I mean, they're having a lot of civil unrest. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I have been coming to DR for a minute, and let's just talk specifically within the last 5 years, right? I have not seen any of that unrest that is going on in Colombia right now. And when I say civil unrest, like I said, I'm talking about it's on Pablo Escobar level of civil unrest. That's what's happening in Colombia. Right now they have shut Colombia down. You can't get in and you can't get out. So none of that is going on in DR. DR has its curfew, and the curfew keeps kind of being a little bit more laxed. People are getting more back into life is normal, but they don't have all that crazy shit going on in Dominican Republic nowhere as they have it going on in Colombia. And one of the reasons Colombia, it took such a while for people to start traveling back to Colombia because they had civil unrest for years. You had the cocaine era, Pablo Escobar. You had the time after that with just trying to with the police just trying to take control, different governments coming in. So as far as places to live, Dominican Republic versus Colombia, I think Dominican Republic is definitely a more stable country to live in, where you won't find the civil unrest happening on a pervasive level like it does in Colombia. Now, that's not every year that's happening in Colombia, but it's happening enough for to be very noticeable, especially with people who travel. All right, so Tyrone has, I prefer Dominican Republic after visiting both countries. I'm sorry the DR is safer, better food, and definitely better looking natural women. Well, on the food and the women, that could be argued depending on who you talk to, but I'm gonna definitely respect your opinion. All right, so let me see. All right, Colombia by a hair due to weather that suits me better. Well, the Dominican Republic has nice weather. It has beautiful weather. So help me out with when you say weather. What does Colombia has that Dominican Republic does not have weather-wise? And I'm talking about yearly. I ain't talking about just like certain seasons, right? Because Dominican Republic is warm throughout the year. I wear t-shirts, flip-flop throughout the year in Dominican Republic, and I think the same thing is in Colombia as well, as far as wardrobe goes. So help me out when you say, the weather. Help me out with that because, like I said, I think they're very, very similar. What's up, world traveler? Colombia. Stop spelling it Colombia. Colombia. Yeah, man, I got to I got to do that. All right, brother. I will do my do my title. But I appreciate that. Like I said, man, I can handle people correcting me, brother, because I'm certainly not the authority on everything. So I appreciate that. All right. So Jamal says Dominican Republic hands down, not even close. Now I will say um the now Dominican women naturally got that natural beautiful shape. A lot of them, most of them. That's I think with the younger ones. As they get older, the women start getting a little thick, a little thicker. Now with Colombia, I seen some older Colombians that, and don't get me wrong, I've seen some older Dominican Republic can women that were fine, but I've seen a whole lot of fine uh, Colombian older women because Colombia is very, very heavy into exercise. You know, the women are I think are definitely more obsessed about their body. That's why I think you have all that cosmetic surgery going on in Colombia. But the women are definitely more obsessed about their bodies, and some of that's natural. So not all of it's fake and fluffed. Because like I said, man, they close down a major street every Sunday for people to just run. Just sort of like the Malecon. They turned that major street in Medellin in their Parque Leary into a Malecon, man. All you see is families, strollers, single people, people on bikes, people walking, people jogging up and down that one main street. So Colombia is definitely more exercise, health conscious than Dominican Republic. And if you see how Dominicans eat, I'm talking about Dominicans like in the barrios, and in the hood, man. I wouldn't eat half of that shit. I wouldn't. Matter of fact, I wouldn't eat. If they had 10 items on there might be one that I would eat. That would be the French fries or the plantains. But as far as what they put in their bodies, as far as food, man, shit, but you got to give it to. So I'll give it Colombia. They're a little bit more health conscious about their health in Colombia than they are in Dominican Republic. But Dominican Republic still got beautiful, shapely women of all sizes, no matter how you like it. So I got to give it to them. So Faz got Dominican. Faze got Dominican Republic. So if you say Dominican Republic, if you've been to both Dominican Republic and Colombia, just don't say Colombia or Dominican Republic, but let me know why you say Dominican Republic or you say Colombia at this time. Also, and I know, man, some people that ask me not to even bring it up again, but when I found out about the whole donkey dunk in Colombia, man, that left a nasty taste in my mouth, boy. I mean, I know you got certain things that are cultural, and Dominican Republic has its things that they do culturally. Colombia has its things that they do culturally. But I mean, god damn, that whole donkey love that they doing in Colombia, man, that's off the chain, man. That's I mean, that's like disgusting on so many levels. And when you look at that vlog that I did, and you see the way that the locals were talking about it, for them that was just natural, you know, that was just all natural. Now I ain't saying DR don't have this crazy shit that they do, but I ain't never heard nobody tell me that they sleeping with the goddamn donkeys either. So I'm telling you, that's like a whole new cultural type of stuff that I can't get with. Rico, what's happening? Says Taylor. I live in Vienna. I hope I pronounced that right. If I did it wrong, please let me know. I want to speak with you, please. Roll. Okay, so I'm gonna write this email down real quick. I'm gonna do something I never do. It must be must be because they got a woman on the face of it. Cause yeah, I know what I do. I tell you to go to my my Instagram and go check it out. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this. MSN.com. Right. All right. So yeah, like I said, there's just different cultures, man. Now, the one thing I do dig about um about Colombia, that and DR has they have a certain sect of people too, but Colombia has the Palenque people, and if you don't know anything about the Palenque people and their history, I'm not going to go into it, but I would advise you to just Google it. I mean, rich African history, still practicing a lot of the same practices that they did when they first was dropped off in Colombia as slaves. They ran away to be free, and I'm telling you, man, I love that rich history of the Palenque Colombians, the Negros Colombians inside of Colombia. So check that out. They got a serious rich history about that. But let's go to housing. Now I'm gonna tell you, I've been to DR. You got some. I mean, depending on your budget, depending on where you want to live, how you want to live. Both got, like I said, depending on your budget, you can live whether you're trying to floss, be in the middle, or live in a Dominican neighborhood or Colombian neighborhood. Can you do it safely? Now I'm gonna tell you, and maybe because I've been in Dominican Republic a lot longer, I would feel safer living in a Dominican neighborhood. There's certain Dominican neighborhoods that honestly I would feel very safe living in. And I'm talking about paying for an apartment like $200 a month. You're going to be living in the Dominican neighborhood, but I would honestly feel very safe there. I could live there without no problem. Colombia, I don't know, man. I don't know. And like I said, I don't know Colombia as well I do Dominican Republic. But as far as a safety issue, I just feel much safer living in a Dominican neighborhood. If I had to, if the world fell apart and I had to like live in a neighborhood of Colombia, I would just feel safer being in a neighborhood with Dominicans. I just would. I'm just be straight out honest, because like I said, I think as far as a safety factor, and I should have checked that out. As far as a safety factor, I do think that Dominican Republic is, I ain't saying a whole lot safer, but definitely more stable, and I think it is more safer than living in Colombia. It just is. I know within Colombia, you got a lot of high rises. So if you're the type of person that really love tall buildings, you love that city life, Colombia has a very rich um, city life where you can feel like you live in, in parts of Manhattan. There are a lot of tall buildings also in Santo Domingo. I think Santo Domingo just got into like doing, I'm talking like 25, 30 store buildings, that wasn't a big thing in Dominican Republic when I first started coming down. And you didn't see a whole lot of buildings where they had 20, 25, 30 floors. But in Colombia, they do have those, I'm talking about people living like high rise living. I ain't talking about the projects that, I grew up in and grew up around. Says, thanks for letting me know to bank at Santa Cruz. Priceless. My wife just doesn't know that type of information. Not a problem. I like Banco Santa Cruz. They take care of you too. So it broke into uploaded a video. I'm trying to see what everybody's saying. So somebody's saying Medellin sucks. All right, so what's up, X? So you said Medellin sucks. I mean, Medellin sucks right now because they got all that civil unrest going on. But what makes you say that Medellin sucks? So let me hear from you. All right. So Mr. Howard says, I can't go home in the middle of the night with luggage. I notice people are different at night. The same people come out in different clothes doing different shit. All right. So so first of all, let me ask, where do you live? Are you in Colombia? Are you in, well, you got to be in DR because you just talked about Banco Santa Cruz. So what neighborhood are you living in? Let me ask that. Are you living like in Montiano? Are you living in Cheramicos? What neighborhood are you living in? Because I've come into DR different times of day, nights, whatever, and I've never had any issues. But I've always been in areas that were, I would say, a little bit touristy. Like my condo's in the middle of the sewer, which ain't nothing but tourists, and the villa is right there on the Malecon, which of course ain't nothing but tourists either. And I've traveled up and down that road, like I mean all times of hours, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. So let me know what neighborhood you live in. How can I get in touch with you, Russ, when I come there? I'm coming there in 2 weeks. I'm the easiest person to get in touch with, man. I'm the easiest person to get in touch with. If you come out to, I can tell you this much. If you come out to Puerto Plata, my watering hole is Gaballo, Guribao, right? Everybody call it Connor spot. That's what we call it. I can't think of that Spanish name for it, but that's where I hang out. And my watering hole in Sosua is Hotel Europa, or down at Ray's. But I like Hotel Europa because Ramona, she treats me like family down there. But Ray do too. But I know the staff more intimately at Hotel Europa. So I'm the easiest person to get in touch with, man. So if you go to Hotel Europa, ask for Ramona. Tell Ramona to give her brother a call, and I'll get up with you. But if you come out to Puerto Plata, you pretty much, if you go down to Connor spot, you'll see me. You'll definitely see me. Or just hit me on my IG. Let me know you're in town. How about that? Hit me on my IG, and I'll put it up in here. And let me know you're in town, and I'll send you a message, brother. That's my IG. What's up, Mike? He says, Taylor, first off, how you doing, my brother? And my question is, do you know if the apartment is sold that you did a video on? It's not sold. It's not sold. They are in negotiations, but I don't know if any money has been exchanged. So, like everything in DR, money trumps everything. It trumps everything but friendships. I don't put no price on friendship. But when people trying to sell something and get rid of something, whether it be a house, a car, anything else, money trumps everything. What's up? Yeah, we got that message. It's Colombia. I will correct the spelling as soon as I get off air. I got you. We got that memo, but I appreciate it. You got that bid. I'm just starting out. I've been there for 2 years. I live in Minnesota in the US. You know what's up here. Oh yeah, cold and lots of riots. So you would be comfortable in Colombia right now because Minnesota. I think hell, Minnesota got as many riots is going on in goddamn Colombia. I'm just joking. You don't want to go to Colombia. You don't want to go there. Thank you, Mr. Howard, for the super chats. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. All right, so I got a couple people saying they're coming down. When you coming down to St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, I used to go to St. Thomas so much, man. I could have got a place over there, but nah, I ain't coming back to St. Thomas. But I've been to St. Thomas many times, and I'm out of St. Thomas. What's up, little bro? Where's my wrench? What, you need me to get you a wrench? Because I'm in the U.S. I'm in the U.S., man. I'm in the U.S. So let me ask Mr. Flip Flop. So living, right? We ain't talking vacation, but living in 2021. Now I know that you are attached, but I'm gonna ask you to try to do an objective view. What do you think is better, Colombia or Dominican Republic, and why? And if you want to come on and express your views, let me know. All right. So Exit Plan says, I was very disappointed when I went to Medellin. There was chocolate walking around there for sure. So if you was, hold on. I was very disappointed when I went to Medellin. There was chocolate walking around there for sure. So if there was a lot of chocolate walking around there, I'm trying to see why were you disappointed. You're a pioneer, brother. Thank you. Look forward to breaking bread with you. Yes, sir. I like to break bread with good people. And like my grandmama always said, be careful who you break bread with. Mr. Michael Roach, man. Hey, do me a favor. Just hit me on my IG. I'll look at it tonight. Hit me on my IG with your questions, and I'll be able to answer you. I'll look at my IG tonight as soon as I get off. The air. All right. So Gillian Francios. Man, I'm screwing up with these Spanish names. Right now, Colombia is bad because of all the protests and stuff. But other than that, Colombia is better for black men. Real talk. Okay, so tell me why. That's a bold statement. Could be correct, could not be correct. If you correct, if it's in your own mind and that's where you want to go. But tell me why to help everybody else out. What's up, Evan? Russell tried linking up when I was there in March, but you are a hard man. I ain't that hard, man. I ain't that hard, man. You just gotta show up with some of my water holes. But there's just a lot of people that want my attention, man. And just in March, man, I was working DR legal like a runaway slave. Which is one of the reasons, like I said, I had to suspend that business, man, because it literally took all my time. I wasn't meeting up with anybody. What's up, Hassan? Taylor, as African American, you get treated by Dominican people because a lot of them rejected African heritage. Please let me know your thoughts. As far as Dominican Republic and living in Dominican Republic, do I think that they reject their heritage? I think it's half and half. I think half of Dominicans, I'm talking about no matter how dark the Dominican is, definitely reject their Afro heritage and embrace their Spaniard heritage. And you got other Dominicans who will tell you quick, fast, in a heartbeat that they black. It's 50-50. I think it's 50-50, at least from the people that I've talked to, which I know for some people is important, especially, because you want to feel like you are around your people. And like I say, some of them are darker than me, and they tell me that they're not black. So, and I always ask them if they ever plan on going to America, and they say, yeah, I would love to go to America. I said, well, don't worry, you'll feel black as soon as you get there. You ain't got to worry about it. All right, so Khalifa, you know, Dominican Republic is my home, but Colombia is another animal. Yes, it is. It's like comparing New York City to Oklahoma City. I'm sure Oklahoma got some nice stuff, but it's not new. Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. All right. What's going on, Mr. Andre?
Oh, listen, my fault. I actually thought that I'm thinking 11 o'clock our time here in Colombia, and I'm not even thinking about it. Just hit me. I was like, because you could tell the way I'm dressed, I'm ready to record. I said, I got about 30 minutes. I can go ahead and record a video for the other channel, then get with Russell. Then all of a sudden, it just.
Brother, you know, me and you, we always good. We always good. But I see that I see you always in business attire, man. I haven't worn a collar shirt in so long. I don't know what. I don't even know what. I mean, no. I wear a collar shirt, and jeans when I go out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's considered dress down
True,
in there.
that's how it is here.
But brother, you got the vest on. I mean, but I understand you the money man. You talk about money.
I just took the tie off.
God damn, you go all the what? You go all out. Listen, I got 200 ties. You can have some. You can have my ties.
When I see you, I'll definitely go through your tie collection without a doubt.
Not a problem, brother. All right. Somebody last night Thursday got glad to see things going well. Never forget you almost ran me over in that golf cart a couple years ago. Yeah, you wouldn't get the hell out the way, man. Listen, if I'm drunk and I'm in a golf cart, you need to move.
There you go.
Nah. I'm glad I didn't hit you. But anyway, brother, we talking about Brazil. I mean, Dominican Republic versus Colombia, and people been correcting me on the spelling, which I'll get to.
So you do that all the time. I don't know why you keep putting that U in there.
I don't know, man. It's inbred for some reason. It's inbred.
Colombia is in South Carolina.
Probably that's why. Because that's the only sign I seen for Colombia. You know what I'm saying?
All right, guys, click that like button. Like Cameron just said that there's over 149 people in the live stream, and it's only 50 likes. Come on, guys, get those likes up. Get those likes up because that invites other individuals into the live streams. We appreciate that, guys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So you live in Colombia, so I want people to know that Andre is a SME subject matter expert in Colombia as well as money.
Oh yeah.
And if you want to know cryptocurrency, how to do YouTube right, you need to call that brother and pay whatever he's asking you for.
I will help you make money if I don't do anything else. I could definitely do that.
Sure enough, he helps me. But tell me your take on Colombia, and I mean, since you've been living there, I mean, how comfortable, how safe do you feel living in Colombia?
Now we're going to take out the latest protests. Let's take this past month out, and not count this past month.
All right. We're gonna take it out. We were talking about it in the beginning, but we're gonna take it out. We're gonna take it. But yeah, but when was the last protest prior to this last month? Because if it's the thing where it pops off every 5-6 years, you know that's not good.
See, the last protest that they had was they had 2 last year, but they were the young college kids protesting about job opportunities, but they protest. They march like Martin Luther King and them, no problems, no issues. They made the announcement like 2 or 3 days before, hey, we're going to be marching in regards to college tuition or job opportunities, and so they'll march and have their protests, and it's cool.
Right.
They had one last year when the taxi drivers were trying to get Uber removed and other apps, but it was a very peaceful protest, no problems at all. They, the taxi drivers did their thing. This year, it was, I forgot what the protest was earlier this year, but it was so peaceful, so simple that it wasn't a problem. But this one impacted the whole country.
Yes.
And then when
they shut it down,
man, it's still shut down, man. Me and Andre were just looking at the dealership to pick up our truck, right? They have the street blocked off. The thugs have the streets blocked off going in and out of Cali. Andre sent me a picture. It's like half a mile down is the car dealership. On the other side of the barriers where the thugs are. So we looking at we looking at the dealership like, and they telling
My
us we
car
got,
gonna be there.
yeah, they got everything locked up and put away and but we're like, man, we getting all this stuff coming in the mail for the truck, but we ain't got a truck. Man, I'm sitting over here right now looking at the little steering wheel cover. Ain't got no truck. We got the floor mats.
But they ain't got no truck.
We ain't got no truck. We just looking at the neighborhood. We like on the other side of the barrier, feeling like we're in Berlin somewhere and doing World War II.
Yeah, but even after you get your car, you plan on leaving the country?
No.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, after we get the vehicle, but we got parking garage. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
We got a parking garage here, so we're good. So we'll be gone for a month. We got a parking garage. Her uncle is a mechanic. I mean, her brother is a mechanic, so we're good with all that. So it's well protected area. We haven't had any riot over here. We haven't had any protests over here. It's been quiet as a church mouse in our area, but on the other area of the city, that's where all the madness been taking place.
All right. So, but outside of your neighborhood, let's say protest. I mean, how safe do you feel in Colombia?
There's no such thing as 100%.
Oh no,
but I would easily say to maneuver around, go from city to city, place to place. Most places at ease. Flights are so inexpensive. I mean, you could fly round trip for $60, $70, sometimes $50. We just got back a couple months ago from Cartagena because they had round trip tickets for like, I think it was like $25, $30 each for a round trip from Cali to Cartagena. So we went and hung out there for about 4 or 5 days and came on back. So the infrastructure as far as moving around the country, great, no problem. The other thing that I love about Colombia is not one part of Colombia reminds you of the other. So Cali is completely different from Medellin, which is completely different from San Andreas, which is completely different from Bogota. And so you get a chance to experience new language, new foods, new people, new culture within one within one country. And as I mentioned before, Colombia is only the size of Texas. That's the size that Colombia is.
Okay. So what about like housing?
Yeah. I actually looked this up. We are, compared to DR, Colombia in general is 25% less than DR. So
really?
yeah, we're about 25% less than you guys. So what you would pay for a dinner, just add another 25% to whatever you pay for dinner or beer or housing, like our apartment, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, new building. We're living in more like a suburbs, and we pay with washer and dryer unit, brand new, security, like I say, parking garage, indoor parking garage, Wi-Fi, utilities, all included. We pay $360 a month.
So that's good.
Oh yeah, that's real good.
360.
That's real good.
Did you say
360? 360.
Did you say
$360? That's it. That's it. $360 a month. Bring your own furniture. That's it. That's all we had to do.
Dang. And how many bedrooms do you have?
2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Very, very new building. Everything. I'm looking at the closet. Closets are 8 feet tall. I'm 6'3", so I definitely could tell when a closet is 8 feet. So all the closets in here are 8 feet tall. I'm in the 2nd bedroom right now with you guys. We're going to turn this into an office. And a lot of times when guys come, from out of like my uncle just left here, he stayed with us in this extra bedroom, but I'm going to turn this into an office. So that's what I'm waiting for too. All the office furniture is on hold because the thugs are blocking the trucks from coming in.
So why is your neighborhood remaining so safe?
Because it is more older people in this neighborhood. It's more houses that are owned by people that have owned the houses for a while. It's Colombia is broken down into 6 zones. We're in zone number 5. So we're not with the mansions, but we're where the people who own the mansion, where their mama and their daddy live. That's where we are. So you'll see a lot of old money in this area.
But then you also tell me at one time that in the neighborhood that you specifically live in, a lot of the people from back in the day when Pablo Escobar was reigning king, that's where a lot of people put their parents and everything.
Yep. That's where a lot of the thugs, a lot of the cartel, a lot of the mafia dudes, their parents live in this area. They say, I'm gonna buy my mama house. This is where they bought their mama house. And so this area is, I mean, the whole area, the whole block area, the whole neighborhood, actually about 20 blocks, is no drama. When you see the police here, it's to protect this area. You have the largest mall here, Chippy Chape Mall, right down the street. And Chippy Chape. I like that name. Chippy Chape. You can't forget. It's so easy. And so a lot of times when guys come to the city, I'd be like, just meet me at Chippy Chape's, because everybody knew what Chippy Chape Mall is. And all the, you ain't going to Chippy Chape if you ain't got no money. So you're gonna see nothing but beauty in Chippy Chape and chicks that got their own dollars. And so it's really been just quiet. I can go up on the terrace right now, and the most that you'll hear is the helicopter that goes by periodically that circles the city to make sure that everything is all right. But they're still dealing with it. It started off with one protest about the taxes. Now they've got the protest about the police brutality and the taxes, and they're putting a tax on food now, and they're putting a tax on gasoline now, and there's a protest with the food truck drivers, truck drivers in general, because the truck drivers are like, listen, we're putting our lives on the risk. We're risking our lives now to drive this stuff here. We need some protection. I've seen videos where one brother, he was just driving in his truck, minding his own business, and he looked over, and all he saw was like guns coming out of the bushes. So by the time his brother ducked his head down in his truck, all of you see just fire just going back and forth. And he just kept the truck rolling. When it got done, he just lifted his head up and kept on pushing. So these truck drivers are out here risking their lives at this moment. But overall with Colombia, if you don't count this month's madness, because even my wife says that she's never seen this ever in her life. Okay. So if you don't count this madness that you're seeing, Colombia is an excellent country. It's one of the top retirement countries in the world.
Okay, I stand corrected, because earlier I said, because and it's some information that I got, just some bad information, that somebody was telling about every 6 years that Colombia seems to always have this civil unrest. So I stand corrected.
No. You're correct, because it depends on the location. Because if you're in the indigenous areas with the indigenous people and the FARC, guerrilla soldiers, and those individuals have something going on. But that's in the woods. That's in the jungles. Them dudes that you see, like you see it in the movies, it's like that. So most people don't even drive by those areas, go in those areas, because they know what's in those jungles are true military dudes, true guys that are anti-government, and that those guys are, periodically going through something with the the government military, but everybody else is just living their regular lives, not even thinking about it. But those are the guerrillas. Yeah, so they're right about that. You're right about that part.
Okay, so somebody got, why does every apartment building have armed guards if it's so safe?
You might as well say that about the United States. The grocery store, the mall, kids' schools. What are you talking about? Are we talking about the U.S.? What are you talking about? You can't go through Disney World without seeing some armed guards. And I live in Orlando. I know.
And it's armed guards all through Dominican Republic too. I don't even know. I don't know if they got any bullets in those states.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cause hey man, bullets are expensive here, bro.
Wow. They got them here, but they use them sparingly.
Yeah. All right. So what about like, let's say a place that's right on the Malecon.
Right.
How much? I mean, have a villa or something like that. Somebody got Colombia is dangerous. Well, every place is dangerous, but I mean, it depends.
St. Louis, Chicago, my hometown, Detroit. I'm telling you, is that believe you me, I done enough robbing, and I've robbed enough people, and I've been robbed enough to tell you that Detroit, Chicago, East St. Louis, yeah, parts of go ahead, go to Watts real quick in California. Don't shoot over to Watts or Inglewood real quick, and then come back and talk to me about Colombia.
Well,
if you make it back.
Well, you know, this is the, and I'm gonna just say this, and I'm gonna get off America. But this is what disturbs me about being back, especially being in America. And I know we're talking about Dominican Republic and Colombia, but mass shootings, right, has become the norm. There's a mass shooting, and look and Google it if you think I'm joking, every day in America now.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think, you know, every month, but these are the mass shootings that we hear about are only ones that we hear, but they saying that there's literally mass shootings every day.
Yeah.
There was three, I think last year, I think I read it was 356 mass shootings. There's only 365 days out of the year. So I don't know if they just took a day off or whatever, but I mean, and the day I arrived here from Tennessee, from DR, when I was in Tennessee, it was a 13-year-old girl went into the school and started shooting at a teacher, student shooting at her. So when it comes to safety, the United States definitely do not have the moral authority or the safety numbers to prove that it's safer than Dominican Republic or Colombia.
True. True. That's so true.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that you'll see, and not to cut you off, remember your thought. A lot of times you'll see, when you do see mass violence in Colombia, if it happens, like this moment in time is so rare. Don't get fooled, guys, into thinking that this is the norm in Colombia. Usually it has to do with politics. It's usually the drug lords, they've learned this in Colombia. Silence is, you can have success in silence. You don't have to do it like Pablo and like the Cali cartel and the Bogotá cartels, and they all got caught because they were loud. So now the ballers, you don't know if it's that old man down the street. You don't know if it's that dude that works in that store, but you don't realize he owns 15 stores. You don't know. They've learned to be successful in silence. And so, go ahead.
They basically took a page out the Italians when they first started the mafia over here.
Right. Yep. Absolutely correct. They realized that how Pablo did it brought too much attention. So they're like, listen, let's keep it quiet. That's why they know that it floods from here to Mexico, but they can't put their finger on anybody in Colombia. They could put their finger on somebody in Mexico, this person, that person, that. But in Colombia, the governments don't know who to put their finger on because these guys are moving in silence. And they've learned how to turn it into a liquid. So they don't have to put like we had the keys and stuff like that. But now they learn how to put it in liquid in paint. You know those big old barrels that we have with paint? They know how to liquefy it now, deliver it, and then show you how to unliquefy it, how to turn it back into powder form. So here in Colombia it's liquefied now, straight from the leaf.
Well, I'm way uneducated on my
I just so happen to see the documentary on it.
Damn. And you saw it down there?
I actually saw it in the States. You know, you're doing your homework, your research before you're moving down to a country. And so I saw it in the States, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that they were doing it like that.
Me either. Damn.
And the guy showed you how they were doing it. They were like literally taking the leaves, and there's a way that they were doing it to actually extract the juices from the leaves to just liquefy the whole thing. Instead of drying it out, they liquefy it now.
And then reprocess it once it gets to wherever it's going. Wow. Dang. Okay. Well, that's new to me, brother. I ain't mad at it. All right. So have you ever been to Dominican Republic? Let me ask you that.
No, I haven't been to DR. I'm looking forward to it in September. I'm excited about it. We're going to be there for about a month. So we'll be hanging out with you guys and getting some footage of areas that, you know, that are off the beaten path, as well as some of the commonplace locations. So we're excited about that. Okay. It's all business for us.
All right. Well, business vacation. That's why I tell people you never take vacation. You're on a business vacation.
Absolutely correct.
All right, so let me ask you this. Now, Dominicans have beautiful, natural, beautiful shapes.
True.
That would you say the average, and let's say 30 down, um, have natural, beautiful shapes, or a lot have been cosmetically augmented?
For me, depending on the location, uh, remember I said each region is different.
Right.
Cali is the cosmetic surgery one of the top locations in the world. Some of the top doctors, so you'll see it more often in Cali and in Medellin.
Mm.
But the natural curves that you see in Cartagena, the natural curves that you'll see in Bogota or San Andreas Island, those are naturally curvaceous women, and especially when you see women in the Afro-Colombian community. You're looking at their bodies. Like Andre told me this. Yeah, like Andre told me this. The white women get the surgery to get the bodies that the black women have, the attractive black women.
Dang.
We said our prototype in our minds when we're talking about I want my butt to look like she said we're thinking about the sisters. We ain't thinking about another white girl. We're thinking about the sisters. If we're talking about, we want our breasts to look a certain, we try to have our breasts look how the sisters will look. She said because genetically their bodies is more perfection of curvation than ours. Now, I'm not saying that every sister down here and every, she got the perfect body, because I've seen some tore up bodies down here. Yeah. But I can say when the sisters do it, you be looking at them like, man, they had to have a surgery. But black people in this community don't have money for surgery like that. And so, in the ones that do, you aren't going to see. One thing about Colombia is the more money you make, the less you're seen. Meaning that people won't see you walking down the street. They may see you jogging, but they won't see you walking because you can afford a car.
Right.
They won't see you walking through the taxi side coming into the mall because you're in the back area of the mall where the parking area is. So you're more, when you come into the grocery store, you're more prone to order from Rappi and have stuff delivered to your house compared to somebody that's the average person. So a lot of times, the more money you make, the less you're seen. And I noticed that about us. We do a lot more things that seem more incognito compared to before.
Okay. Let me ask, have you ever been to that area? It's in Medellin. And it's like hotel clubs. It's sort of like the
Parque Lleras.
Yeah. Not Parque Lleras, not right there in the park, but this is more of a seedier. It's like three blocks, and it's 3 block long of clubs and hotels.
You know what? I won't lie to you. The last time I went to Medellin and I partied, and this is before I even met Andrea. I was just hitting Medellin like everybody else. Yeah. I was hitting everybody. I was like everybody else, hitting Medellin up like crazy, going to having my fun, enjoying myself with the ladies type of thing. So it's been a hot minute for me in regards to going to Medellin on the fun side. Now when I go, is more in business. I'm interviewing somebody, or they interviewing us, or we're just going on we'll hit Medellin for 3 days because we're flying out to Mexico or something like that. So
okay. So do y'all have a strong expat community there?
Oh yeah. Every area of Colombia, for the most part, Cartagena, Bogota has a strong expat because Bogota is the 13th largest city in the world behind Chicago. Chicago has 13 million people. Bogota is at 9 million. Medellin is number 66 with 3 million people in the world. So big cities in Colombia. But as far as a lot of expats being here, yes, each city has an expat group. Medellin has the largest one, of course, but Cali has a large one. You can go on Facebook and look up the Cali expat group. You can go on Facebook to look up the Cartagena expat group. So, and I was thinking about Larry might be right, El Centro. That's what I was thinking about, downtown El Centro in Medellin.
Yeah, because I think it was, because matter of fact, we told the Uber drivers, because it was like 14 of us, to just hang out with us. We're gonna pay them off the books, because they said, well, because they specifically said stay on this side of the street and don't walk past 3 blocks down. So that
yeah, that's back in my New Life days.
yeah. But it was something else. So I would call that the sort of Sosua area.
yeah. I definitely would.
When people think of Sosua, certain blocks, because like I said, all of Sosua is not that those I call it 5 or 6 block radius,
right,
where you see a lot of action going on. And compared to both of those, man, it just seems like it's if I compare Sosua to El Centro seems like darker, definitely more seedier.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Those blocks right there where
somebody can hide in the shadows.
Yeah,
type of
definitely. But those blocks in Sosua, it's more lively. People, because you got the different. I mean, those blocks in El Centro has those bars, but it's just like you don't know what to expect when you go in there. But like Sosua, the safety fact, you definitely feel more safe and like you can walk out of one place, walk across the street to the other, and don't have to worry about getting your head banged in or anything like that.
That's true.
So go ahead, brother.
And we're not saying that it happens, but it compared to Sosua and El Centro does come across a lot more shadier and a lot more darker. Not as many lights, and the only people that are out there at night are people that you don't want to run across for the most part. So you're right. You're 100% correct.
Okay. So what about the food? I know in Dominican Republic, now you get some really good food in Dominican Republic, really great food. But for the most part, for the locals, I was saying earlier, especially let's say in the barrios and the not so more exclusive area, because your neighborhood where you live is basically working people or retired people.
That's true.
I'm on the Malecon, and the Malecon is surrounded by a little bit of everything. It's surrounded by working people, but also surrounded by a few barrios where people not working or or hustling all the time to get money. And the food that they sell and what most Dominicans eat, I would say the more impoverished Dominicans, man, if they had 10 items, I would only eat the plantains and the French fries. I mean, just because I cooked a dinner, and I want to ask you about the palate of Colombia's. I cooked dinner for this young lady one night, and we had I cooked some I grilled some salmon, broccoli, some rice, and something else, man. I mean, and it came out smoking. I mean, seasoned perfect, the whole 9 yards. And she was looking at that food like, I mean, like smelling it and like it's sounding. You know what I'm saying?
You can't cook.
Yeah,
maybe that's it.
Broccoli. And she's like, I can't eat this. So I said, okay, no problem. I took it to this little food truck, because this little barrio that's maybe 5 minutes from me. And they had this food truck, and man, I wouldn't eat nothing on there. That you couldn't have paid me to eat there. So we picked that food up, took it back to the crib, and I'm telling you, man, you would have thought we went and picked up 5-star filet mignon. So how are Colombian palates in Colombia?
One thing about Colombia is each region has its own foods. So foods that you'll eat in Bogota, you won't even find in Cali. Cali has foods and desserts and meals that you will only find here. And they got some stuff that's only even made here in Cali in the world. You go to Medellin, there are certain things that you'll be able to eat in Medellin. But in general, you're right. It's the plantains, it's the pescado, the fish. You have a certain amount of, maybe a few chicken meals that they put together and a few, so it's basically the same. You get a salad with everything. With Colombians, they always fresh squeeze their juices. No matter if you want a grape juice or this juice, papaya, whatever it is, it's always fresh squeezed juice.
Yeah, they do the same thing here. But do y'all
But
have those pico pollos where they over fry the hell out the chicken and give you a pile of plantains? I mean, for like 100 pesos.
see,
You know,
I haven't eaten chicken in almost 30 years. But Andrea, she loves her chicken, so that's something that Andrea would eat. But I like my pescado. I like the fish, the seafoods. And so one thing that I notice about Colombia, even in the black community, they are not heavy into seasoning. You know, we take some Lowry seasoning, some salt and pepper, some this seasoning, that seasoning, put it on one piece of fish, and we'll batter it and cook it and so forth and so forth. Well, they're not heavy into seasons here. They don't even even in the Colombia community, they don't even eat spicy foods like that, like
Hmm.
hot sauce getting sold on top of everything. They don't do it like that. They sell hot sauce here, but it's
Right.
usually on the shelf forever. Canned foods, they do not do. They look at canned foods like it's an insult. Like, really, they got the peas in a can or they got the beans in a can. What are you doing? You can get fresh corn. Why would you get canned corn can in the corn or
Hmm.
corn in the can? So they look at it like it's your mama didn't raise you to cook. Raise your wife to cook. What's wrong with her? She got canned foods, so or frozen foods. A lot of those things just don't get sold here a lot in Colombia. The canned foods usually stay on the shelf for when we come to town. Other citizens.
Right.
But for the most part, that I do notice is that their palates, they do not do a lot of heavy seasoning. Salt and pepper, and they're good. They're good with just their salt and pepper.
All right. So when you first met your wife, did you cook for your wife? How long did it take you before you whipped up that?
I actually, I actually cooked the second day after our first date because we met in Chippy Chape Mall. Ironically, we live by the mall that we met, right?
All right.
Right. And so I asked her on that date to show me because she recommends some places in the city. No, I'm trying to hit on her really, but I'm asking her to recommend some places in the city that I can
I
go,
got you.
like the salsa tour, like because they have a tour here in Cali that you can do free tours of the graffiti and all that and all the artwork.
Mhm.
And so she took me to some of those, and then I was talking to her. She remembered that I like museums, so she took me to the museum of Cali's history. And lo and behold, I'm in the museum. I'm seeing photos of Angela Davis all over the place, and I'm like,
Really?
"What is? Yeah, the civil rights leader from the states." And I'm like, "What is Angela Davis doing in the museums in Cali, Colombia?" And so she started telling me about when Angela Davis was in South America, all in Costa Rica, and so forth and so forth. All the things that she fought for the rights of others, all in South America, like she was fighting for the rights of those that were imprisoned
Dang.
in the United States. So she's very famous globally. So I was like, wow. So I was impressed with that. But the next day at my Airbnb, she came over and I cooked. And so we got a chance to enjoy that. And then the next day she stayed over after that because
Okay.
she went back because she had to work. She had to go to work.
Right. But when you cook, did she what was she like?
That seasoning,
Yeah.
I couldn't find the seasoning here. I couldn't find the season that I want. I didn't have any Lawry's with me because I assumed that it was here.
Right.
I didn't have any seasoning salt and things like that. So all I had was the salt and pepper. And so she was cool with that because at that time period, I didn't know that's what they were accustomed to was the salt and pepper.
Mm.
So yeah, even when we go to the nicest restaurants, salt and pepper, or if we just go to the hood and go to a restaurant, mainly it's salt and pepper.
Mm. Okay. All right. What about the steaks? How are the steaks in Colombia? Because it's hard to get good. It's hard to get a good steak. I'm gonna give
I
you.
couldn't tell you because I haven't eaten steak in almost 30 years.
All right, but you know people who do eat steak.
Yeah. Oh,
All
yeah.
right. So how do they say the steaks are there? And if you see me moving around a lot, man, I'm in this chair that is good lord uncomfortable. I gotta
The
talk to
best,
my
the,
brother.
the best steaks that you're gonna get are in Bogota area because Bogota is a big city and it's used to catering to all different type of palates from around the world. And the people in Bogota, that's where the real money makers are of Colombia.
And
Bogota and Medellin. So these are the people that can afford the 5-star, 6-star restaurants. This is where you got the Michelin chefs, award-winning chefs, and so there you'll find the best steaks that you've ever had. But if you come to Cali, you might find one or two places that have a decent steak. But as far as the top steaks, you'll find in Medellin and especially in Bogota.
Yeah, well, I find that in DR, man, they tend to, as far as cooking, they tend to overcook food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like rice, like they will boil rice until the bottom is burnt, and then they like to scrape it and eat that. I forgot what they call it. Chake.
They do that here.
They do that
here. Yeah, they do the same thing here.
And the chicken is fried till you can't fry it no damn more. I mean, it's just like,
I know. Andrea does the same thing with her chicken. Whenever I do make it for her, it's like I try to make it like juicy, and you know how we do it in the States. No, not her. She want hers with a crunch.
Yeah,
she want her chicken breast. I'm like, how you get a crunch from a chicken breast with no skin? But that's what she likes.
All right. So at least those two things, Colombia and Dominican Republic, have in common. They fry the hell out their food.
Yeah, they do.
And will cook rice until there's no moisture in it.
And no moisture, nothing at the bottom.
And then eat it dry.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, because you want it, because every time you go out, there's always rice, beans, meat. And I always say, well, you know, salsa or something, you know, give me something to throw on top of the rice.
Right.
And they kind of look at me like, what's wrong with you?
Yep.
Same thing. Same
situation. Like a lot of times, unfortunately, Andrea likes to make my lentil beans for me. So I like the lentils. And so I can kind of have my white rice and the lentil mix, or she'll make me a nice pinto bean soup, and I can have that with the rice. But you're right. And they don't put anything on it. It's just like white rice, and that's it. Dry, super dry white rice. And that's just about it.
Yeah. So Edgar Guy, if you're talking about visiting, not living in a country, then visit both and have your own perspective. And I agree with you. You know, I agree.
Yeah, that's true.
Because me and Andre can sit up here and talk all night. I'm not moving to Colombia. He's not moving to Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. So I agree with that. But this is just some of our takes on how we feel about living in the two cities.
But then you got to understand this also, Russ. A lot of guys, when they visit, they don't experience the countries anywhere. Anyway, I'm gonna say something that's gonna bust some dudes' heads. You ready?
What's that?
Some dudes have been to DR 10 times. They ain't never been to DR. Some dudes have been to Colombia 15 times. Can't tell you a thing about Colombia. Been here 15 times. You like Beyonce on tour. Beyonce says she's been to Rome 7 times. And she said, I've never seen the city at all. That's how a lot of dudes are when they come to visit places. They can tell you, how many times you been to DR? I've been like 10, 15 times. How many times have you been in DR? Can you tell me about point A to point B in DR? I could tell you about Sosua from the hotel room to the party area and back. I can tell you how to get to the. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. They can't tell you anything about these locations, even though they've been there more than I probably will go in the lifetime, or they've been here quite a few times before I even got here.
Man, it's funny. It's funny you say that. First of all, let me give a shout out to my boy Bilo. He's at Chippy Choppy Mall in Cali. They got nice restaurants upstairs. With some of the steak I've had, especially for the price.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do got some nice restaurants up there in the mall, because it's actually 2 giant malls. I've never seen this before. It's 2 giant malls connected to each other. And so you can leave one mall and go to the other one that's full of restaurants. That's where the movie theater are. Some of the best sushi that you've ever had. Some of the best. They got some great steak restaurants. You're right. Some great steak restaurants are up there. He's absolutely correct. Okay. Just really, really nice, man.
Yeah, the Dominican Republic is definitely getting more flavor, as far as I'm starting to see more places open up, like sushi restaurants, a couple of Mexican restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
I see some Chinese restaurants. So a couple of Italian spots. So they're definitely trying to do more branching out as far as their taste. But like I said, a lot of that is more in those neighborhoods where you have working class people.
True.
You know, those
Because
neighborhoods where you don't see the working class people, the taste is, the palates is very simple. Everything is very simple. You know what I'm saying? Very simple, simple, simple.
it's happening like that here in Colombia to give, for example, you come to Colombia, you go to Bogota or Medellin, to give you Russ the quality of steak that Russ wants. It The average Colombia can afford the type of steak that you want. And so a lot of these restaurants that's catering to the Russes and to the Andres of the world are kind of like pricing themselves out of the average
Yeah,
Colombian. So these people work at the restaurants, they make the steaks, but they can't even afford to buy their own steak
yeah,
at their restaurant.
yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, the same thing's happening here. I think right now what's happening in Dominican, especially with the real estate, you know, it's definitely pricing a lot of Dominicans out. But now, let me
Mm-hmm.
say this, and I tell people this all the time: don't think all Dominicans are broke. There's some Dominicans
Ooh,
with some
yes.
serious cash that you won't know. And the only reason I know them is because I hang out with them. But I can show you some Dominicans that walk by you every day, just like a millionaire Americans walk by you
Yep.
every day that you don't even know.
Yep.
I keep telling people, don't keep thinking everybody's broke, and don't think those beggars on the street ain't making no money.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're doing this 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day. Trust me, at the end of the day, they probably got more money in their pocket than you got in yours. I'm
One
telling you, yeah,
Yeah,
because
one lady offered a job to a lady on the streets, of Venezuelan.
Mhm.
The lady offered the Venezuelan girl and her daughter a place to live and a job. The girl said, "How much you gonna pay me?" And she gave her the price. She said, "I'm gonna give you a place to live, food, and I'll give you a wage." She said,
Mhm.
"What?" She said, "That's all right. I make more money in the streets begging than I would living with you." She
Yes.
said, "I would rather have me and my daughter living in the streets
Mhm.
of begging than." I mean, most people don't know this. Statistics. This is a good one. Gonna bust your head. In the United States, the average homeless person that begs makes $40,000 a year,
Yeah.
tax free.
Yep. And I'm gonna tell you, I remember when they did that, and it's probably I'm a little older than you, but I remember when they did that. What I forgot which college did it. I'm talking back in the '80s. They did that same
Mm-hmm.
study, and they came with about 35,000. So I guess they making with inflation. I
Mm-hmm.
guess they making
Mm-hmm.
40,000. But they followed somebody around, and they were making tax free $35,000.
Yep.
35,000. I
Yep.
mean, tax free. And they watch person, they wear a wig that was, looked like their hair was just all nappy and bad clothes. And they watch this person from afar and seen this person get into it wasn't no BMW Mercedes, but a very nice car.
I
They
saw one
shared
with a girl doing that. Yeah, I saw a
it.
girl dressed up like an old woman, and she did that. She got caught.
Mm,
She got caught. She had walked around the corner and jumped into a nice car. You see that in Florida a lot. They'll have their car parked right across the
yep.
street, and
Yep.
they will walk right across and they just start begging.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I've seen it, and that's why I don't give to a lot of beggars on the
Yeah.
street because,
Hmm.
like I said, my thing is the orphanage anyway, so I prefer to
That's
do
right.
orphanage. But so when I with friends who may be visiting the first time, or somebody coming down, say, hey man, let's hook up, and they may give somebody, offer somebody some money. I don't say anything because that's them, but they don't see me do it, and they kind of look at me like, you can't you can give them that change that we had from lunch. I ain't give them nothing.
I got a question for you. On every corner here in Colombia, somebody's either trying to sell you something, or
Yes,
they're either doing some music or entertaining, doing it while the light is green or the light is red, or they are trying to clean your windshield. Is it like that?
yes,
There,
yes, yes,
every corner.
yes, yes, yes. More so, different parts. Like if you downtown Puerto Plata, you don't see a lot of that.
Now
Uh,
here you don't. You won't see none of that here in this area.
but yeah, but if you just on the street,
Hmm.
especially the main streets with people driving up and down the road, man, you see a lot of that, brother. And if you in Sasua, you can't even eat. And this is the thing that bugs me. I know people out there begging to ask for money, whatever, and that's cool. Do you? But it's while I'm eating, man. It's like you got and you get this barrage of people trying to sell you stuff and begging from. I mean I still haven't adapted to that while I'm eating. Let me eat, and I might give you something, especially if you wait till I finish eating. But
Right.
so now I hang out in Puerto Plata, more on the beach side of the restaurants where I don't have to deal with that, because honestly, I still can't get used to that.
Let me ask you this, because I've been going through this since I've been here. Have you found yourself being the only one that can afford to be in a particular restaurant or location that's of African American descent? I'll give you a perfect example.
No.
I'm the only brother in this neighborhood. I'm the only brother. You see brothers and sisters come to work, and when 5 o'clock go, unless they are the maids that live here, 5 o'clock go, I go to certain locations. We went to the coffee region. It was maybe 2, 3 brothers, but I was the only brother.
Yeah, no, and I've seen that when I went to Medellin. Matter of fact, like I said, it was about 14 of us, and one night we decided to go out to the mall to go to dinner, and probably only about 8 of us went, and at our table, and we were the only brothers in that mall that was actually shopping and eating. There was none, zero. You feel like an anomaly.
I do a lot, man. No matter even when I'm in the black areas, like if I go to Cartagena and there's number of brothers, I still feel that awkwardness of I'm not really among the brothers. You see what I'm saying? Because I ain't walking around broke, or I ain't just sitting around drinking a beer, or just chilling. So I'm always either on business mode or it's just kind of. Since I've been here, I haven't found that. And Andrea says that there is like I said, the more money you make, the more people don't see you. She said there is a large population of Black people here that have a lot of money, but you just don't see them, because once they get their money, they go out into zone number 6, and that's the highest zone there is. So you ain't gonna see them people at all. You'll hear about them, but you won't see them.
Nah, but I definitely don't see that in Dominican Republic. When I go to different restaurants, whether I'm in Santo Domingo, Santiago, whatever, I see a lot of people, like myself, that's out eating and doing the thing. Even even if they're not like American Blacks, you see Haitians, because you got a lot of Haitians down there with money too.
True.
They out eating, doing their thing, enjoying their life. So it's so now you don't feel like an anomaly in Dominican Republic at all. Not as far as that goes. And a lot of people, and a lot of us own businesses as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they got to come to you, for the business. So it's it's quite a comparison. It really is. It really is, man. But besides that civil unrest, and the whole donkey love, man.
Yeah, that's I know you got a lot of comments after that video.
Yeah. But I think I'm gonna stick to Dominican Republic, bro.
Yeah, go ahead. Ain't that many donkeys in DR, so you good. And then in DR, you got a lot of cultures as well. You got Venezuelans, you got Colombians, you got a lot of people that are not native to the island there as well.
Smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. But yeah, man, a lot of times I'm just like the only brother. I'm the only brother that can afford to go here, or the only brother that can afford to go there. Every blue moon, I'll see a brother and usually the brothers who I hang out with are the dudes from the States. It's kind of funny. 90% of my time is business. Then when one of you guys come to town, that's my downtime, hanging out with somebody that I can relate to, chilling. Not saying that I haven't met some cool Afro-Colombian brothers down here, because some cool brothers, and I know some guys that own some things down here. But as a norm, I'm the only brother. Like when I walk out, security all know me because, hey, that's the only brother
Yeah, I
Oh
don't know.
wow.
I don't know how I would feel just being an anomaly.
I know, right?
That's for me that's even a bit off-putting.
It is. It is.
I know here, and especially in Puerto Plata, man, especially what we're on the North Coast, because I started a group chat just with expats, and every time go somewhere, I meet somebody, I'll be like, Lil, let me get your number, I want to put you in this chat. So now it's very much a community, and I mean, you turn on that chat, man, it's like, because it's probably 130 people in there now, and it's constant communication. If anybody needs something, they put it out, somebody's there to answer the question. I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest mistakes I made when I moved to Dominican Republic. Biggest mistake, one of the not opening up my own bar. Because
I can see you with a bar.
I normally post up at other people's bars, meet people, and then that usually bring people. And
that's what I do.
And a friend of mine told me, he said, Russell, he said, man, you missed the boat. He said, the one business that you should have opened up when you moved here was your own bar. I said, well, it still ain't too late. But there's this brother in Puerto Plata, Connor. He has a bar. We call it the Expat Bar. And man, you go by there and see a bunch of black folks all the time. Yeah. And now I think it got to the point where some of the locals have gotten a little jealous of him. And he says, because sometimes the cops will roll by there, they want to look in there, they want to see what's going on and everything. And then he says, but then the police chief, because he started doing karaoke, and I guess the police chief, the jefe, likes karaoke because he started coming to karaoke. And kind of, after a while, start telling, hey, man, your guys, I don't know why I'm getting harassed. And I'm gonna tell you, since the chief started coming to karaoke, none of that.
That's good. That's real good. See, hey, that's real good.
Leave this guy alone. I like coming here. I like karaoke. And hey, I told him, I said, listen, slip the guy a couple of free drinks.
Yeah. I've been trying to find that balance between 98% of the African-American, Afro-Colombian population live in the hoods that are very dangerous. That's what most of the rioting up. So I can't go off the there. A, my Spanish ain't strong enough. B, I don't hang in the hood in the States, so I dang sure ain't gonna hang in the hoods in another country. But then, like I said, the more money you make, the more you are incognito. So those in Zone 6 that are of Colombian, Afro-Colombian descent, I haven't had a chance to meet. But as my Spanish gets better, I'm starting to meet a lot of influential people. So I know that everything for me centers around the level of Spanish and communication, because they've got meetup groups here, like meetup for this, meetup for that, business, investments, things like that they have just for Black people here. They have I was Toastmasters in the States, and they have Toastmasters here in Colombia for public speaking. So wow. I want to join that, but all that entails and centers around my Estudiando Español. So I am adamant about that. Like I said, I started my tutoring. I get tutored twice a week. So give me a few months, and yeah, you guys are going to be impressed, at least with the distance. I sit back and I watch Ace, and I notice how Ace Live, he does his. He'll say something to somebody. Right. He repeats what they say. Right. He does that all the time. Somebody will say something about the car is red, and Ace will say, so the car is red? Yeah. And so from repetitiveness of repeating what the person says and how they pronounced it, that's how Ace got better. But for most of us, we aren't traveling to hear the different dialects. We're at home. So that's why I realized I need to just go ahead and hire a tutor. So I went ahead and hired my man, Domain, and shout out to Domain.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do the same thing. And Golf Nasty 60 says, making the move, plan on celebrating 61 birthday September, and my permanent move out of the Matrix. Hey, make sure you let me know, man. What's your dates? Because celebrate.
Oh yeah, we'll be in September. Yeah. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know the date so we can be there to celebrate with you, brother. Oh, yeah. I got a whole group of expats, and all they do is celebrate. All the time, 7 days. You gotta, man. Let me tell you, you gotta hide out from them, man. because they will have you drinking 7 days a week, morning, noon, and night. This is either somebody's birthday, somebody became a grandfather, somebody became a father, somebody got married. I mean, I'm telling you, man. I'm like, listen, there can't be all these damn celebrations now.
Yeah.
But it's 24/7, 24/7. So but anyway, brother, we after that point, man. So give me your final thoughts on Colombia, living in Colombia, and what would be your advice for people who are considering making that move to Colombia?
I would say take your time in regards to preparation, getting yourself ready before your move, before you leave and come to Colombia. Make sure that you have your paperwork that you'll need. You may need a copy of your birth certificate that's apostille. That's mean the gold stamp on there. Or you may need a copy of your birth certificate translated. Go ahead and get that taken care of. You may find somebody that you're in love with and may want to get married one day, maybe. There's a form in the States that you need to bring with you, which is called the Affidavit of Singleness. It's in all cities, all states. It's an actual form that you go downtown to ask for. It is your proof that you are a single U.S. citizen. It's called the Affidavit of Singleness. You just go downtown in any city and ask for it and say, "Can you tell me what office I go to get an Affidavit of Singleness?" And they'll ask you, how far back do you want us to go as far as your singleness? 5 years, 10 years, 2 weeks, 2 days, how far back you want us to go? And so they'll have the proof, and then you get that translate. So you may have paperwork that you want to bring along with you. The other thing is, like I said, just take your time, because as Russ can attest to, there's stuff that you want to give away, sell off, get rid of. You're going to pack and unpack 3 or 4 times before you leave. Stuff that you thought you needed. You didn't know that you had 45 pair of shoes. You only thought you had 10. You're like, oh, I got more shoes than I thought I had. You got suits that you might want to give away. You got ties like Russ.
200.
So you want to definitely be patient, because you might run across somebody like Andre that might go through your tag collection and just raid your tag collection. So you don't want that. So make sure that you just take your time, and it's going to all unfold. That's the one thing I did. I took 3 years. People don't realize that just like your journey we were able to follow yours because it wasn't an overnight journey.
Right.
So it was with me. It took 3 years for me to get to the point of now I'm officially living here, even though I haven't coming here. But I made the decision 3 years prior. So there's nothing wrong with taking your time, guys, and it'll unfold, and you'll be glad that you took your time.
Yep. Now, do you have any packages or consultations that you do for people moving overseas to help them set up and get started with their new life in Colombia?
Actually, I don't. My boy been telling me that I need to do, because he does one in Brazil. Yusef, shout out to Yusef Watif.
Yeah. Good brother, another good brother, another money brother. So y'all can see, I hang out with money people. Talk about money a lot. I mean, a lot. I'm gonna tell you, hanging out with some of the brothers like Andre, Yusef, and some of the other brothers that I hang around. We talk. I'm gonna tell you, money talk. Money makes up about 50% of the conversation, and that's the truth.
Because the acquiring of it, you realize that it becomes your superpower. In the States, I noticed this, Russ, and maybe you can attest to this with some guys. In the States, there's so much and so many to lean back on. Hey, Russ, what's up, Dre? Man, you got $200 until next week when I get paid? Oh, I got you, Dre. Cool. You ain't got no Russ when you by yourself in Colombia. So you got to come up with that 200 on your own. All of a sudden, your superpower kick in of creating businesses and online job opportunities. And when Russ sit back and he says that laptop lifestyle, all the thoughts that it takes to create all that, all of a sudden starts to churn to where when you in the States, you don't even realize you have that superpower. But now it's easy to tap into it for the Yusefs, the Andres, the Russ. If Russ was still in the States, there would be no DR legal services, because that superpower wouldn't have burst out of him. It would have been a different business in the States, but it wouldn't have been the one that would have been able to help guys out in DR. So when you live in another location, that superpower of business starts to take place. That's another reason why I tell guys, don't worry. If you do it right, everything that you need to take care of yourself is already inside you.
Yeah, well, steel sharpens steel.
Oh, yeah.
And you should be, and I tell people constantly, you should hang out with people that talk about money, that talk about cryptocurrency, that talk about FedEx, having a Ameritrade account. What is an ETF? You know, what does the stock market look like? You know, what are some long stocks that you would do? Vanguard, bonds. I mean, you want to talk, you because if all you talking about is women and damn in sports, I mean, come on, man, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
And I could only be around you for so long if you just talk. Even when I was single, I wasn't around dudes that only talked sports and women. I'm gonna tell you something, Russ. I'm the type of dude I get bored with women fast. I get bored with the topic of women. I get bored with that real fast because I can get them so fast and get them so easily that I'm not impressed like another dude. Like, oh man, look at her, look at. I'm not really impressed like that because I've been beating. I was beating them down in the States.
Yeah, and like you said, it's just a plethora of them. I mean, honestly, I have more sex by accident than I do on purpose. You know, honestly.
Yep. When I was out there living a single life, I was stumbling in Medellin when I first started going. The first couple, I was stumbling over some women, stumbling them into the bedroom.
No, I perfectly understand. I perfectly understand. But brother, I love you. I love having you on my show.
Thank you, man. Much love,
man. You know, you always appreciated whatever I can do for you. I love you. I love you. I love your beautiful wife, man. Whatever I can do for y'all, man. Please, please, please don't ever hesitate, man. I'm there for you.
Oh yeah, we're excited.
And the same advice that Andre gave you for moving to Colombia, you can take that same advice and for DR. You know, there's a few little changes in there, but basically you can take that same advice. And I've put out plenty of videos about it. And if you got any questions, I can't help you out. Like I said, with those who really need to speak to me, ask me, because them people, man, because I've had 2-hour conversations with people, man. And like I said, you know, I do my consultation service at $75. And we can talk till the bells come off, and that it's only one time. You can call.
That's a good. I'm gonna tell you guys, that's a good deal. Russ is giving you guys a good deal. 2 hours for 75, because I'm charging you 100 for an hour. So yeah, y'all getting a good deal when you're talking to Russ. So you take advantage of that. Take advantage of that.
Yeah, but like I tell people, listen, if it ain't worth your money, it ain't worth my time.
True. That's
There's
true.
no hard feelings. There's absolutely no hard feelings, man. Because I wish I had people like myself to talk to, people like Andre to talk to when I was started off on this journey, because I didn't see anybody like us putting out this kind of information. And I would have, and I'm gonna tell you, man, I would have loved to spend $75 instead of wasting goddamn $500, $1,000 on some stuff I should have found out at 75.
Hey Russ, I just paid $175 today for our consultation for next week for something as far as business and setting some things up. So instead of the time being wasted on trying to figure it out myself, I realized that $175 for that hour is well worth than me wasting all these hours myself trying to set it all up myself. So yeah.
Well, see, the thing is, we're at a stage and point, and I hope everybody gets to that point where now it's more profitable for me to leverage my money against my time than my time against my money.
Oh yeah.
You know, like when you go to work for somebody, you basically leveraging your time for their money. So I'm gonna give you 8 hours of my time, and you give me XYZ at the end of the day. For me, it's because there's even things I can do myself. Like somebody says, well, man, you could you know, Russell, why you got somebody clean your house? Man, you could do that for yourself. You retired, it's not worth my time. I could be doing many other things instead of cleaning my car or cleaning my house or cleaning my pool. It's just not worth the time. No. You know, so you know, it has to come to a point where you change the leverage and you leverage one against the other.
Yes,
otherwise you're always going to be working for somebody, and that's the truth. But thanks again, my brother. I appreciate everybody hanging with me tonight. Don't hit those like buttons. My brother, real brother, I love this dude, man. Hey,
that's the man right there. And we got Jay Edwards. Shout out to Jay Atlantis. Go ahead, girl. That's a good woman right there. I'm always talking to Jay.
Oh yeah, definitely. And JC, you gotta let me know what you want, man, because I'm leaving in a couple of days. So let me know what you want, brother, before I leave up out of here. If you want some seasoning, let me know, because I'll be gone. Anyway, peace and love, man. And don't forget to tell your wife I said hello, brother.
Definitely, brother. Thank you very much. You guys have a good evening, all of you.
All right.